They say you only live once, but Daphna Steinmetz, I hope I got that correctly, CTO at Digital Turbine, has a slightly different opinion on the matter and adds an extension to life in her presentation on IoT named You Only Live Twice. But I invite her on stage to provide more details on it.
Good day, everybody. Thank you very much for attending our session. It's called You Only Live Twice, meaning in the physical world and in the virtual, digital world. My name is Daphna Steinmetz. Thank you. I'm the CTO of Digital Turbine, and I'm really happy to share with you today our vision on what good would it make if digital and physical would converge. Let's start. What do we do? Should do this.
And one for your dreams. You drift through the years, and life seems tame, till one dream appears and love is its name.
Actually live twice. Every person in the world has a digital representation of himself. For sure, everybody in this hall, beyond your physical existence here, you have a digital existence in the web. As we've seen in the clip, many objects, non-human objects, start to have a digital representation as well. So if we, as an industry, will be able to blur the lines between the two, by smartly using emerging technologies, we will be able to make better sense of our surroundings. We will be able to make better decisions with regards to our lives, to our businesses, and for the benefits of mankind in general. To what do we owe this fantastic opportunity? So I say that it all starts with data. People ask me about this slide. Everybody knows Star Trek 2, right? So every person, especially in the last 2 decades, whenever a person is born, his life is being documented by everybody around him. Then this information starts even before we are born, by the way, with all the ultrasounds during pregnancy and stuff. And this documentation of life starts to create the digital representation, and this trend only amplifies as we grow up, because either we produce data voluntarily through social networks, we upload posts or presentations that we give in events, or we just create content in different kind of sites. or it's even done unwillingly when other people tag us, other people take our photo and upload it. And what happens is that in the digital world, the digital has unleashed a new renaissance of creativity. Multiple amounts of media types, huge amount of information is being generated, all seeking our attention. And if UGC is not enough, user-generated content, we are seeing a growing trend of the establishment, so-called, generating virtual representation of our lives as well, starting with the financial institutes that you know that they record every phone call that we are performing to our bank. They record every transaction that we are executing, every credit card transaction that we are doing. Every time that we are using the ATM, our photo is being taken and saved somewhere. It's true in the healthcare industry as well. Every ultrasound, MRI, CT, X-ray, lab test, even a simple checkup at the doctor, everything is stored, let's hope safely, somewhere. Governmental institutes, every traffic ticket that we got, every time that we leave the country, every graduation card that we get from any educational system, and so forth, everything is stored somewhere, and it creates, together with the UGC, a huge representation of everything that we are experiencing in life. So from the moment we are born, and even before that, to the end, and many years after that, maybe forever, our virtual representation exists there and is just waiting to be taken into consideration to create something better for us in this world. And then came IoT. The internet is being filled with new inhabitants. We heard before, and there is a myth, that by year 2020 there will be 50 billion of these inhabitants. Now, if 5 years ago or 10 years ago I would have asked you what's common to cows, shoes, refrigerators, traffic lights, CCTV, I'm not sure that you would have known to say immediately the correct answer. Today, we all know that all these things can produce information, can communicate it, and can interact with human beings based on this information that they create. So it seems like very soon, every object, non-human object, in the world will be connected. And maybe the proper name for software should change to be everywhere, thisware, because it's really everywhere. It's not soft anymore. Smile. So when I'm saying everything is connected, I mean starting with our own body, the things that we wear, our immediate surroundings, the appliances that we use, our home environment, our office environment, our car environment. And then even the city that we live here, that we live in. Modern cities have many buildings that can provide information, that communicate with us, with video cameras that record every move we make, with traffic light that regulate the traffic according to the load. It seems like the Internet of Things is really becoming the Internet of everything. And it's available everywhere for everyone, this one. Okay, thank you for the voluntarily smiles. It encourages me. So what we are seeing is that if we do collect data from the things in the Internet of Things, we can upgrade in our minds the Internet of Things from IoT to IOV, which means the Internet of Value. And this means that we can take advantage of this data to make our lives better, our business more successful, and all we need to do is use this model. take the IoT data and create value in a model that is a never-ending value loop which improves itself all the time. What does it include? So first, we need to generate the data. We need to make sure that sensors and cameras and engines and appliances and production lines and nuclear power plants, everything that is connected, would start generating information. We are in the big data era, so we can't say what information, so the more, the merrier. Then we need to make sure that this data is efficiently transmitted and efficiently stored, so we will be able to take advantage of it. Then we need technologies to visualize it. And why is that? Because with a huge amount of information, we need something smart to present the insight in it. We need something intelligent to reflect what's going on in this world. And then we need to apply the modern big data analytics tool, whether it's machine learning or deep learning or unsolicited search or any advanced mathematical model. So we will be able to see the predictions. We will be able to get actionable decisions that will improve these systems, and then the data that they will generate will be much better, and this will be a loop that feeds itself and will improve itself all the time. So what does it mean, IOV? It means that we can leverage the new technologies, the emerging technologies that are now available in the market, so that things, everyday things, will become a better version of themselves, smarter version of themselves, more efficient versions of themselves. And then things will contribute data, which is new, a new type of information, to the collective intelligence that we are used to have since the social web started. So that these things not only get smarter and improve themselves, they will help people to become smarter, and they will help people have a better quality of life. And as a result, new services will be created because they will consist of interactions between people and things, not just the things themselves or people alone. I say that the time for this trend is now. And why is that? Because we are lucky enough to be living in an era where there are three dimensions of inflection points: in technology, in market, and in culture. When you talk about technologies, the revolutionary technologies of big data, IoT, blockchain, and others have come to maturity. They are available commercially. The market is ready. We are seeing interest across the board, from the fintech industry to healthcare, from agtech to government and cyber, and almost any vertical in the industry shows interest in this. And the business is there. We just heard from the first presentation, Matthias said, even Dell, VMware Dell, are investing $1 billion in this domain. So the convergence of virtual and physical is happening. I could see some people contemplating whether IoT and big data and AI will enable digital and physical convergence, which will lead to a change in everything. Is this the line of thought in this room? Right? So I say that it's wrong, because IoT, big data, AI are already enabling to change everything. And to convince you, I would like to share with you the use case of my own company, although there are others as well. I'm the CTO of Digital Turbine. Digital Turbine is a global NASDAQ-traded company that is a market leader in a new white space, which is a convergence of the app economy and the mobile telecom. The mission statement of the company is to distribute content, or rather provide the right application to the right person at the right time. The challenge of Digital Turbine is the fact that it's operating in an area of conflicting megatrends. On one hand, we are living in a world of infinite content. Millions and millions of applications for the mobile, for the phone, for the TV, for the tablet, for everything. On the other hand, the attention span of people is becoming shorter and shorter. We can call it now nano-attention. There is a growing trend in the recent years of FOMO, which is relevant to youngsters and the elderly as well. Fear of missing out. There is so much happening, so much data out there that people are anxious that they are missing things because they can't control everything that is happening. Did I blink and I missed the fact that Snapchat is now replacing WhatsApp as the most popular messaging application? Did I oversleep and I missed the fact that Candy Crush 3 is out there and all my classmates already mastered this game and I didn't even notice that it's there? And so forth and so forth. Young professionals are worried that they are missing something that their competitors already have. So a service that would bring the right thing as early as possible is very much in desire. And lastly, there is a cultural revolution in the way we use mobile phones. You know, this thing that I have, it's called an iPhone, but we don't call people anymore almost. There are many researchers that show that more than 90% of the time that we spend on the mobile phone, we actually spend it on applications. So this is the major thing that people are looking for. Our children are born into a reality where they might mistakenly think that they were downloaded rather than conceived. And for them, this is not a funny joke. They don't see any humor here. It's just life. So in a domain where there is a nexus of forces, infinite content, very finite attention, fear of missing out, yet very powerful usage of applications on the mobile, a service that will selectively recommend application is very much desired. Because even a great application requires a push, share, Breaking Bad, smile, anyone? No, seriously, in a world where there are millions and millions of applications with hundreds new ones every day, content is still king, but distribution is the emperor. So the challenge of my company is to find for every user the needle in the haystack. And this requires quite a magic. So let's see an example, a use case, within the use case. This is a young professional. She arrived at a foreign country for a business meeting. She needs to get to the city. So what should she do? Should she rent a car? But maybe it's rush hour and she'd rather take the metro. But is there a strike at the metro and she would better take a taxi? How can she know what to do? Luckily, it's Barcelona, and in Barcelona, there is a new application. It's just recently launched that gives you in real time, as a user, it gives you in real time what is the best transportation mean at any given moment, from any location to any other location. So this application is new. She is a foreigner in this country. How on earth could she find out that there is something that can make her life so much better without us? So Digital Turbine is doing the following. First of all, there are sensors in the world that can tell that her location currently is Barcelona. There are sensors in the world that can communicate her position within the airport. There are digital representations of her past experience that show that she doesn't frequently visit Barcelona, so she doesn't know her way. And since she's new here, this service of getting the right transportation mean at any given minute is the best application that will contribute to her well-being. It's not spam for her, it's not harassment, it's something that helps her make life easier and more convenient. It's something that is much desired by her. Use case number 2. This group of bikers have biked for a while, and now they have reached a stop, and they are waiting now. There are sensors in the phone that tell us that this lady has biked and for a while, and now she is standing still. There are sensors that can tell us that it's a rural area, it's far away, it's not a place that she's used to visit. So an application that lists all the venues for bikers' refreshments that sell energy bars, that allows for flat tire fixing, or any other service that bikers need, this will be very relevant for her. Now, pay attention. She will not be interested in an application that details the transportation means in Barcelona, because she is in Somerset, let's say, or somewhere in England. The lady, the business lady that arrived at Barcelona, she is not interested in refreshments for bikers, right? So it's very, very important not to have a false negative, not to have a false positive. Like if we miss recommending bikers' refreshments venues for this lady, it's bad because we do not contribute to her well-being, and we lose money because we make money on every application that people use. But it's even worse to recommend the Barcelona application for her when she doesn't need it. This is spam. So reputation-wise, it would be the false positive would be even worse than the false negative. Hope it's clear. And there are other examples of multiple use cases of everyday life, like this is first day in college for this guy. Wouldn't he be interested in a very long list of applications detailing what are the learning groups, what is the popular bar, where to take takeaways to eat, and many other applications. All of them, their relevancy to this guy depend on correlation between information coming from physical sensors to the digital history, and it's called hyperdimensional analytics, coming from multiple dimensions: physical sensors, digital history, personal information. It's important to remember that all this hyperdimensional analytics is possible if and only if all these people allow us to collect information about them. If people do not explicitly say, yes, of course, please use my information in order to make my life easier, we will never do it. Speaking about privacy and safety of the data. And I think that this is a good example of how we can harness from our little niche the data of the Internet of Things to provide more value to people and make their life easier. So data science and IoT, they are relatively young sciences. And although as compelling as it sounds, there are still issues to resolve. Not everything is perfect. First, there is still no standardization on how to collect the data, what is the protocol that things communicate with, and in order to boost the whole industry and make it really prosper, we must have some interoperability or some standardization. This is still to be completed. Okay, when applying data analytics to the Internet of Things, we might need higher reliability and higher availability than we were used to in the social web. Remember, we are talking about nuclear power plants. We don't want anything bad happening. There are issues of moral and ethics, and because there are no humans to control what's happening in our systems right now, and the very important issue of security, of privacy, and safety of the data. So it's a short presentation, and I won't get into all the three examples. There is a long list, by the way. These are just for conspicuous examples. I do want to say 2 words about the last one, because it's so important, at least in our industry. It's evident that people today are clickable. If you use Google, after a few seconds, you would know almost everything that you wanted to know about a person, and maybe things that you didn't want to know, but it's there. Many of these examples are thanks to the social web or due to the social web, depends on where you're coming from. Even the Time has published a very big piece on how Facebook has redefined privacy. When we look at Facebook and other social networks, it seems like the transparency is only growing more and more, and many people take it to the extreme and share everything about their private lives, very, very intimate details. Sometimes it seems like we can take a peek at people's bedrooms at any given moment. An example of somebody who took it to the extreme, this trend, is Carrie Bradshaw from Sex and the City. If you remember this TV show, a columnist made a whole career out of sharing every intimate detail about her life, about her affairs, about her feelings, about her thoughts, and she made a career out of it. We definitely can see an evolution in the notion of privacy, because if in the past, by default, people were private, and if they wanted to become famous and be known publicly, they should have invested effort, then today it's completely the opposite. Every time that we speak in a conference or even attend a conference, it's out there publicly. Every time that we purchase something and we upload it to Instagram, we have immediate thousands of followers that can see what we've done, what we've purchased, where we've been. So today, public is the default, and in order to keep private, you need to make an effort. However, not everybody is so happy with this trend. Some people prefer to keep some privacy on their business affairs and personal affairs. This is sometimes pending geography. Like pornography, it's a question of geography. Like in Central Europe, this trend is stronger than in other places. These people prefer to refrain from uploading personal content, and they would be very happy if the keyboard would include this key there. They see any personal content as a digital tattoo, only it's harder to remove. So as an industry, if we want to do something with the convergence of data coming from IoT and data, personal data, we need to remember that different people have different preferences on what's personal and what's okay to use. In today's reality, usually if we want to say that we keep private, there are two mechanisms that we can use. One is to anonymize the data, meaning to whiten it, remove every identifiable detail from the data. And the other mechanism is to aggregate, like not relate to individuals, but to a group of people with similar traits. In the future, by the way, my company suggests that privacy will be all about control, allowing each individual to control exactly which information is public and to whom, and which information is strictly private. To summarize, blurring the line between physical and digital existence will allow us to do a lot of good. We know that there are still issues to resolve, but they will be resolved. This trend is too powerful and too strong and too important to just fade away. Soon to be, everything will be connected. I think that we've seen it in the 3 lectures that have been here today. IoT can be upgraded to be the Internet of Value, IOV, if we use it correctly. And then we boost our understanding of the world. It would teach us on how to improve and how to secure the safety of the world, and it will enable us to obtain better quality of life. And this change has already started. I just showed you what Digital Turbine has done to position itself as a market leader and to improve its business dramatically, I might say. Now, I'd be very happy if you will leave this lecture thinking, okay, what my company should do in this domain, can we improve our business as well? And I want to remind you that it's not a one-day process. It's a real process, like in art, and it takes time. But please remember that you are holding the brush, and you can make a change, and you can follow others that have done it already. Our advice is that you can't not play. As I said, it's too important, too powerful trend that is happening right now. And to do nothing, it's not an option. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you.